Huh? What's going on, Helldivers? Hello there. A game that slammed into this world with an absolute patriotic boom has dropped to mostly negative on Steam. And to quote the old Jogonus Rogonus, that's crazy. Look, I'd be the first to admit I don't play this as much these days, so I kind of missed what it was all about that caused it to drop this low. So when I saw this, I simply had to go look. Oh, why am I so curious about this? Well, when I say patriotic boom, I mean a patriotic boom. Since its release, the game has nailed the aesthetics of being part of a bigger picture, from the moment you arrive at a planet and see the other ships like yourself raging war against the unfortunate patch below you, to the way you get deployed to the battlefield, fiercely dropping from the sky, accompanied by this motivational anthem. Watch out below, the humans are coming. And it made being part of the human race feel badass, you know? I don't know how else to explain it. And when you play Helldivers 2, you quickly realize that other players feel the same way. When you get paired up with randoms, 8 out of 10 times, the random you end up with is just did their part. You know, they were team players, would wait for you before extraction, would help you out in tight situations. And well, there's some friendly fire most of the time, not optional. How good players were is another factor, but coming from someone that never had enough friends playing this game to fill a full lobby, I constantly had to pair up with randoms, and it was a blast. I loved it. I can seriously not think of another game that had a more positive, active community than Helldivers 2. It's just such a crisp combination of game mechanics and teamwork that just goes together so flawlessly, backed by a fan base that's genuinely stood so patriotic behind it, until they didn't. I mean, it's no small feat for a game to fall to mostly negative on Steam. You kind of need to make a crappy game, or you need to piss off a lot of passionate players. And there's a reason companies take complaints so seriously, the ones that's worth their salt anyways, as for every person that complains, there are 9 others that have the same issue, just didn't voice it. And if that number sounds completely arbitrary, it's because I think it is, because how the hell would you actually measure that? Did you know that 73.4% of all statistics used in examples are made up on the spot? There's a lot of people that covers the why it sucks ad nauseum, so I would like to look at the other aspect of it. One that can maybe offer you some value if you're into clientele, or if you're entrepreneur, or any of those type of, you work with customers, and that is the consumer swing. Okay, so having my little viewpoint of the Helldivers community, when I saw this, it instantly took me back, and story time. I live close to the Kruger National Park, you know, where the wild animals are. As a result, tourism is a pretty big deal around here. Safari drives and all that. When a little unknown thing called COVID came around, our country was one of the ones that went into lockdown. And as a result, our little corner of the country got hit pretty damn hard. Something you would never see is those safari vehicles being sold at second-hand dealers, and suddenly they were all over the place. You know, all the small dealers, all of them closed up. You know, you can't keep running a business if there's no tourists. It was pretty crazy, and a big part of our clientele is in the hospitality industry and the tourism, like by far the majority, and so we got hit pretty hard as well. As the guys cancelled with us, our most loyal and biggest clients, we went to them and said, listen, we know this is a hard time and you want to cancel and stuff, but we can really make good progress in this time, and we are willing, since we've got more time on our hands, we're willing to do the same work and then give you a great discount at up to 80% of what we would normally charge, since we had the time and we had to stay busy. And so the one specific client, we provided this discount for more than a year and a half, almost 2 years. And at some point, when business was back and everyone was good again, we went back to the clients and said, okay, listen, we can see in the stats and stuff, business has picked up, and we are going to revert back to our original pricing. If it's a bit rough for you at the moment, we can always go to a smaller package until you're ready. And yeah, and the client turned to us and said, "No, thank you. I'd like to cancel. Transferring over to someone else." Oof, that hit me hard. Yes. Call it naivety, but you know, thinking you'd go the extra mile, really helping them out at cost to yourself. And the moment it went back to normal, they moved away to someone else. It's not even that they cancelled that they no longer needed the service stuff. They really needed the service. It's just that, yeah, they moved to someone else. These things has happened a lot. We're a very smallish community, so we have plain dorpie syndrome is what we would call it. As you know the people, you build relationship with them. But one thing with clients I've noticed is it's business. You know, when business companies say that, it's literally, it goes all the way for the consumer as well. Is the moment it takes something of them, they will drop you. You can build this great relationship over the years, provide them with the best service, you can do everything. But the moment it will cost them something, they will drop you at the drop of a hat. 90% of the time, this has been like proved to me so many times. And that specific client was the turning point for me, where I'm like, okay, make peace with it. Be a good person wherever you can, help everyone the moment you can, but just realize that this is the status. Don't do something for the client with the idea that one day when you need them, they will come to your rescue. You kind of don't do that. You provide the best service you can, and no, it's business. And that is what I would say would happen to Helldivers. They did not listen to the complaints of the people, and yeah, they assumed that their goodwill would carry them, that they've got this community that would just follow them off the side of the earth. And it doesn't work like that. You see that time and time again. Goodwill it's only worth something as long as it doesn't cost anything of the people that benefit from it. And that's basically all I've got for you today. I just, the moment I saw that popped into my mind, that experience, and I wanted to share that to see if someone else might get value out of that little thingy thing. So there it is. So to close off, I would just like to view one of the comments in a very passionate way. It's hard to stay patriotic when it seems like Super Earth has sold out to the Illuminate. This might be my last transmission on the subject, so I'll keep this brief. It would seem that the Illuminate are now in control of our beloved Super Earth armed forces, as they are intently reducing the firepower of any and all weapons that are deemed too effective, reducing the amount of brothers and sisters that return from each passing mission, and in effect, reducing the amount that will dive down with you in future ones. We are losing this war, as we are losing patriots at an alarming rate. I myself can almost be condemned a deserter, as it would seem that all recruits now have to be part of a new exclusive PlayStation Network initiative. And beyond that, I simply don't have the motivation to keep diving down these days, to keep fighting. The Helldivers 2 unit we were once a part of, that we have come to love and respect, has fallen. Will it ever return to its glory days? I doubt I would live to see. But to see if, may this unit serve as a sacrifice to the altar of future not-to-dos. For if our leaders ever decide to produce a future unit, that they would learn from these mistakes and give our future generation a fighting chance, as it is already too late for me. Signing off, another nobody soldier. Beep boop. Other people covering the why it sucks aspect ad nauseum. So, blah 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 blah. If your future value, if you look into customer work, or if you're entrepreneur. Oh my goodness, what is that? Entrepreneur. That's the English word. Entrepreneur. That's the English word. Okay, let's go again.
Entrepreneur.
Well, that just makes no sense.